Wet versus dry.
Butch versus Pansy.
I don't have anything. This week, I have the Ford Ranger from 2019 Lariat Edition with an FX4 package.
And I have a 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro.
This is going to be a heads-up comparison that Jason and I are going to conduct.
Heads up?
Well,
Heads up comparison?
your head,
Head to head?
whatever. We're going to do a comparison to show you guys which one's the better truck. My truck has 270 horsepower with 310 pound-feet of torque out of a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine.
2.3 liter, that EcoBoost that's in the Mustang.
Mustang?
Okay, I have a V6 3.5 liter with 278 horsepower, but 265 pound-feet of torque.
So,
and it's a 6-speed auto. Yours is?
10-speed.
Oh,
So there's a bit more gears in mine than yours.
it's a lot of shifting, 10-speed. But it's very smooth. I like it.
Surprisingly, yours shifts a lot more than mine does.
Yeah. And it's not very nice, is it?
No. Isn't it kind of annoying?
Yeah.
So,
It's like the slightest uphill, even when you're on cruise control. Downshifts twice just to be able to keep up with the speed. It's like,
so I noticed.
but it does sound good. The Tacoma sounds grunty. This one doesn't have much of a sound.
It's a little drony, but yes, I really appreciate it a lot more when I'm on the streets and I hear the exhaust note. It sounds a little grunty. It's like it's working. It's giving it.
It makes you feel good for spending $56,000 on that Tacoma with the TRD Pro package, right?
Exactly.
This is how much?
This one is $50K.
So this is $6,000 cheaper, and it feels much more luxurious and modern.
What do you mean? It feels like it is.
Yeah, but the
I mean,
Tacoma's cooler.
It's
Much
got a
cooler.
B&O sound system. It's got the tech package, navigation,
Speaking of
hands-free
sound
operation.
systems,
What?
This doesn't sound as good as it should, but it's better than the one in the Tacoma.
Okay, but I mean, yeah, I've heard B&O sound systems sound a lot nicer. But it's out of 10, I'd probably give it what? I'd give it a 7.
6. But you have CarPlay,
Yes.
which is a big deal, and probably does it have Android Auto as well?
This should have Android Auto as well.
Okay. I have neither, but I will have in 2020. The Tacoma is coming up with a good upgrade in technology for next year. But you still get adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitors. You have, basically everything you need. Lights in the back.
But you don't have automatic wipers.
No.
This does.
But I do have Home Depot rigid industry, what's it called? Fog lights, which are actually brighter than the regular lights on the Tacoma. Yours has LED.
Yeah, so what?
So I'd call it a tie. Mm-hmm. What really matters, though, is which truck is faster. Let's have a drag race.
Yep, let's do it. I'm going to kick your ass.
Steve doesn't stand a chance.
Let's see that Tacoma tug all that fat boy's weight.
Did you know that my Tacoma has a hydraulic power steering thing, whereas yours is electric? So that's why the Tacoma is a bit heavier, and this one is lighter.
Well, that's why it felt nicer to drive the Tacoma steering-wise than this one.
However, this one has proper disc brakes in the back, and the Tacoma has
Drum.
Yeah, they suck. I do notice that your head is a bit further away from the ceiling in the Ranger, and I had a bit more legroom in the back.
So I do have a big head, but that's not the point. The point is there's more headroom in this car than there is a Tacoma. Have you seen me smash my head on the bloody thing every time I get into it?
I saw it a couple of times.
Yeah.
However,
not
this
fun.
doesn't have a sunroof
No.
or a power rear window.
So what?
Yeah,
A 5-year-old
So
can
nothing.
open it. Didn't you say Eric could open it up in the
yeah.
back?
It's pretty easy to open, so no
Yeah,
problem.
so who cares?
Use a broomstick. So the bed on the Tacoma appears to be a little bit bigger, and it has more tethering points. The payload in the Ranger is this much, and the payload in the Tacoma is this much, which means the Ranger wins. And also towing capacity in the Ranger is this much, whereas in the Tacoma is that much. Now, fuel economy wise, I know, there's usually a reason why companies convert to 4-cylinder. But I noticed when I was driving the Tacoma, I was averaging about 15.5 liters per 100 kilometers and then about 13 in the Ranger. You have a different opinion on the matter, don't you?
I do. So I had both cars. I averaged 13 on each one. Well, 13.1 in the Tacoma and 13.2 in the Ranger.
So that means you're a more economical driver than I am.
That's a first.
Okay, so fuel economy, they're on par. They both use regular unleaded, which is a big plus.
Thanks, Trudeau, for your bloody tax.
Carbon tax. I'm noticing that this Ranger is much softer, quieter, and more refined on the road than the Tacoma is.
110% agree with that statement. It also steers. I think, actually, I was about to say that it steers a little better in this one, but I disagree with that. I think actually the Tacoma handles just a smidge better. And a smidge being, it's a little bit crisper. It feels more connected to the road because of the hydraulic steering column.
And the flock shocks, right?
Yeah.
They make a big difference even on the road.
Yeah, you are more connected in the Tacoma than you are in the Ford. But it's still a very good driving experience.
But if you were to drive far away, like do like a 100-mile trip or 500-mile trip.
Oh, I take this hands down.
You take the Ranger, right? What about the seats?
The seats are way nicer and plushier in this one. The Tacoma,
I agree.
My lower back was just killing me after sitting in it for 2 hours.
I agree, but I have to say that both seats in both trucks suck.
Yes.
This is better, but it's still not very good.
I agree with that too.
We took these cars off-roading.
We did.
We took Bobby with us with his Jeep just in case anybody gets stuck. And he was the camera car.
And so we could show off.
True, like when he was showing off his approach and departure angles.
Like this.
Mm-hmm. I have to say that I was really surprised that the Ranger could follow the Tacoma through that mud. Especially when the ruts became deep enough, and at least I bottomed out a couple of times in the Tacoma.
See, I didn't. And I was actually surprised because I thought I was going to get stuck in the Ford because it looked like...
sense, though.
Well, it looked like the Tacoma was more prepared to go off-road than the Ranger was.
It has more ground clearance. So
yeah, but that didn't matter.
It's really surprising.
This guy plowed through every single instance of any sort of terrain that we tested it on. And it actually didn't stop. It didn't hesitate. It went right through.
And we never really used all the locking differentials and everything. We just kept both trucks in 4 high the whole time.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty good.
The electronics I found worked equally good. So the crawl control, hill descent control, they're pretty similar on both trucks. So I can't give any of them more points versus the other one.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, full disclosure, that the Tacoma is on winter tires, on Blizzax.
Yeah, that was
this one is on all-terrain tires.
Yeah, that would gave. I think if the Tacoma had proper off-road tires, it would have performed much better.
Yeah, but nevertheless, a big surprise that off-road they basically tied. It was like they're the same. Neither truck stood out. Both did amazing. Bobby in his Jeep, which is fully prepared for off-road, he was completely flabbergasted by the fact that we did not get stuck.
Yeah.
So what we had to do to kind of do like a tiebreaker kind of thing is we did a little tug of war. As you can see,
Jason cheated.
no, I did not.
Yes, you did.
You're just too late to go on the gas.
You
So
told me to take it easy when we were going to start tug of war. You're like, okay,
was a
don't
good way
break
to win.
anything. You're got to take it easy on the throttle. I'm like, okay, I trust you. And then Malaka head's pulling my car halfway across the... Anyways.
Well, in all fairness, we did it again. We did a repeat, and then nobody moved an inch. But that was because the grass was very slippery. So nobody won, but the grass lost. Sorry, grass.
Sorry.
Sorry, Pete.
Sorry.
So the Ranger is 71.1 inches tall. The approach angle on the Ranger is 28.7 degrees. The departure angle is 25.4. The ground clearance is 8.85 inches. The bed on the Ranger is 44.8 inches between the wheel wells. It is 61 inches long. That's not.
That's what she said.
Wait, this next one is even better.
Oh. I gotta stop.
And it's 20.8 inches deep. on the Tacoma.
You got to do a bloopers reel on that.
It's 41.5 inches girth. 73.7 inches long.
You got to stop.
Who would have thought the Japanese guy has a longer one? And it's 19.1 inches deep. The approach angle on the Tacoma is 35 degrees, which is better than the Ranger, but surprisingly, the departure angle is only 19.1. Ground clearance is more at 9.4 inches. To be completely fair for the consumer aspect of this review, we are going to try to make a video of the Gladiator versus the Colorado ZR2 Bison, because those two trucks might be better than both of these ones in terms of off-road and whatever, but we don't know yet. So we have to pick a winner between this and the Tacoma.
Yeah.
So, you want to round this one up?
Do I have to?
I'll do it. The Ranger is the more SUV type of thing. It's like more usable. All the numbers, at least on the spec sheets, are better for towing, for payload. It's the nicer one to drive, and it's the one that I would probably pick to do like my daily commute, or if I didn't have to do any like really rugged things. Okay. However, the Tacoma just feels so much cooler, and somehow it's the one that I would want to drive away from this comparison.
You're so off. Why would you want to drive away with that? No, I picked the Ranger. I think it's a well-rounded car. It's got all the capability you need. It's cost-effective. What else can you ask for it?
So my brain agrees with you, but my heart disagrees. So you're taking the Ranger and I'm taking the Tacoma?
I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
The Ranger?
Yeah.
What about the Tacoma?
8.
Okay. So I'd give both of them an 8.5, but I'd give a plus cool factor to the Tacoma.
Fine.
If you like this video, please remember to subscribe, hit that little notification bell so you get notified each time this guy and this guy upload a video, because there are a lot more comparisons coming up and you don't want to miss those.
As they say in China, sayonara.
That's Japan.
Whatever.